Hi, everyone. Super Bowl champ Vernon Davis here from Legal Help Center. If you've been injured in an accident and think you deserve compensation, listen up, because we have legal professionals standing by right now to answer your questions for free. You can find out if you have a case and how much it's potentially worth.
Thanks, Vernon. You heard it, folks. If you've been injured, call and find out how much you qualify for. Call 800-497-4410. Advertisement sponsored by Legal Help Center. May not be available in all states.
Medicare Moments is the podcast. Toni King is the host, and we welcome you back to another edition of America's favorite Medicare podcast, Medicare Moments. Hi, Toni King.
How are you doing, Jim? And they need to know that I am Miss Medicare. Since we're doing Medicare Moments, I'm Little Miss Medicare.
Okay, here we go. So, legal documents important to Americans at any age, and the key here is any age. So, feel free to share this Medicare Moments podcast with people who are much younger than you, maybe your children even. Hi, Toni. I'm turning 65 and retiring from my current employer and will no longer have health insurance benefits, life insurance, dental, and vision. My husband will still be employed with benefits from his current employer. I have been told that if I do not have a power of attorney or other legal documents in effect for both of us, that we will have a major problem. With serious health issues such as stroke, COPD, cancer, etc., and we cannot decide for ourselves, that our family would have to go to court and file for legal guardianship to represent that specific family member legally for future health situations. I'm not familiar with what type of attorney we need and want to make sure that we have the legal documents processed correctly. Thanks, Jessica from Tulsa, Oklahoma, to Toni King. And Toni, what kind of documents do you think Jessica needs to line up, get in order, and get executed?
Well, the first thing I want to talk about, and we talked about the different life insurance policies. Okay, some people wait too long. They wait until they have bad health, then they can't qualify. And when you're about 40 or 50 years old, you need to have some kind of a life policy on yourself, on your kids, on whoever. You know, you want to make sure that you've got something, because you never know when something's going to happen. So make sure you get a life policy. If you get a term policy, go for the longest term. Everything you see advertised on TV, they're doing 10-year terms. And they're making it sound like you're only going to pay $10. I mean, what happens if you do something for 10 years and then you need something 20, 30 years from now? You want to make sure you've got a policy that keeps on going. Okay, so don't go by price, go by what you have. That's very important. They can call our office and we can help them with that. You want to make sure you get the right plan. You know, get a plan that has long-term care mixed in with it. I mean, who would ever know that you slip and fall and break a hip and you need somebody to help you with a long-term care need? Don't just think everything's going to be perfect until you're 70 years old or 80 years old. It doesn't happen. So you want to get in the game and make sure you've got everything together. The legal documents are very important. You've got the power of attorney, the durable medical power of attorney. The DNR is important, because if your family member is on a end-of-life issue, they're having a heart attack, going into the emergency room, and you have a DNR, the doctor can make it so that they die peacefully, and you don't have to tell them to pull the plug when someone is on the oxygen. And that happened with my husband's father when his brother walked in with the DNR, and his dad, they were working on him. He was not in good shape. They gave him the DNR, and 13 seconds later, the man had passed away because they could not do any more health issues. So you want to make sure that you've got everything together. You want to make a good will so you know who's getting what and what's going to happen. You just want to make sure that you can do things. Some people can do it on their own. There's different companies that are advertised on TV. Just get in the game and make sure you get it taken care of.
Medicare Moments is the podcast. Toni King is your host. My name is Jim, and we'll be back right after this.
Caring for someone with dementia is one of the toughest journeys, but you don't have to do it alone. I'm Allison Schreier, and my experience caring for my husband inspired me to create Zinnia, a therapeutic streaming service designed to support people living with dementia and reduce caregiver stress. Zinnia offers research-backed videos intentionally created for people with dementia, engaging, calming, and easy to follow. Whether you need to ease agitation, create moments of joy, or make daily routines smoother, Zinnia is here to help. Family and professional caregivers use our content to turn challenges into opportunities for connection. Accessible by subscription on mobile devices and connected TVs, Zinnia is simple to use whenever you need it. Because when caregiving feels easier, life feels better. Go to zinniatv.com and sign up for a free trial today. Use the code RESOURCE for 15% off an annual Zinnia subscription.
Welcome back to Medicare Moments. Legal documents important to Americans at any age. Toni is talking about. She's talking about power of attorney, medical power of attorney, DNR, do not resuscitate, living will, advance directives, and more. And Toni, back to you.
Well, one thing that I can say, you don't have to have an expensive attorney to do these documents. They've got some forms at Office Depot, whatever. Just as long as you've got something that meets your needs, you can use it. I am not an attorney. I do not give legal advice. Make sure that everything's taken care of for you. And I am going to have to update my paperwork because my older son, whose name is on everything, just passed away. Right, Jim? I mean, you were there for John you were there for his end of life issues when we did the celebration of life.
Yes.
And now I've got to change all of that because he was the one that was in charge of it all. So you want to make sure that you stay in the game and don't wait until the last minute.
So true. And if you have any questions about this, you're welcome to write Toni. She welcomes your questions. info@tonisays.com. info@tonisays.com. You can call her 832-519-8664, 832-519-8664. Leave a question. Someone will get back to you and she can point you in the right direction to get the right documents that you need done. And you'll sleep better at night, right, Toni, when everything's in order?
Yeah. I mean, it's just, you're just not putting so much stress on yourself. Okay. And I just go by what has happened to me personally. I am not an attorney. I am an insurance agent. I know insurance. I know how that works, but I'm not a legal attorney. You just got to get in the game and get everything together for you and your family. As I would say, wouldn't you, Jim?
I would. So thanks, folks, for joining us for this edition of Medicare Moments. Toni, back to you.
Well, thanks a lot, Jim. And I will see you later.
Hey, everybody. Jared Sebestier, host of Retire Repurposed. This podcast is dedicated to help people transition into fulfilling and purposeful retirements. Retirement is a big life change. In fact, the two most dangerous years of a person's life are the year they were born and the year they retire. Few people could just flip the switch from working a career 30 or 40 plus years, retiring on Friday without methodical steps to living what we call a repurposed retirement. To listen now, search Retire Repurposed on your favorite podcast platform, Senior Resource, or Life Audio.